Does anyone even trust Ubisoft open world games anymore? Star Wars Outlaws is what they're calling the first open world Star Wars game ever, which technically isn't true. We had LEGO Star Wars Skywalker Saga, which I guess you could call open world even though you're moving between different hubs. Star Wars Galaxies was also open world even though there are extensive loading times. This, I would say, is the first seamless open world Star Wars game. But can Ubisoft deliver on everything they're promising in this new gameplay trailer? Because it looks absolutely ridiculous. It's basically GTA in space. You can ride bikes, you can fly straight into space, jump to light speed, travel to other planets. It's all here. You can get a wanted level. Instead of the police, it's literally the Empire that are hunting you down until you ride off on your speeder bike and then fly away to another planet to get rid of your wanted level. Hey everyone, it's Andrew. If Ubisoft's Massive Entertainment get this Star Wars game right and deliver on everything they're saying, this is going to be the Star Wars game we've always dreamt of, the game we've been wanting for years and years. Now, the reputation system in this game is something that has me really interested. As an outlaw smuggler, you'll take on different jobs from different factions in the game and in the Star Wars galaxy, and based on how well those jobs go, if you go undetected, for example, or engage in blaster fights, your reputation will be affected with that specific clan. For example, we have the Pike Syndicate, the Hutts, and I believe another faction in the game, and at certain points throughout your playthrough you'll engage with each of these factions, and how well your engagements go will affect the relationship with that faction. You're also going to be able to make decisions using dialogue in the game, which will also affect your reputation and your wanted level. For example, in this cutscene we see here, the player chooses to not bribe this Imperial officer, therefore warranting a wanted level, and forcing the player to escape the planet and fly to another star system. Space combat in this game looks unreal, and it looks like they've taken elements from Star Wars Squadrons and from Star Wars Battlefront 2's Starfighter Assault. It looks like manual rolling is a thing in the game. You can actually spin your trick, which is a good trick indeed. And at any point while you're in space, you can engage the hyperdrive where a countdown will begin, you choose the planet you want to travel to, and will jump to light speed. Even though I'd say there's a brief cutscene when getting into your ship and flying up to space, it's pretty much seamless. You'll watch your ship and be in control to an extent as you fly up through the atmosphere and into space, and I'm assuming the same happens when you're flying back down onto the planet. This is borderline No Man's Sky levels of space-to-ground combat. Seamless. And it seems like that's the game's emphasis. They really want to keep you in control and immersed for as long as possible. I think Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor also do a pretty decent job of this. The fact you're able to walk around in the ship as you're jumping to light speed, customize your lightsaber, whatever it be. This game takes that to another level, with you actually being in control of your ship as you fly through space. Space combat itself also looks like lots of fun. You can see here the player has the option to fire rockets. I think this is a blaster, and this looks like a repair tool. It also looks like they have a shield as well as health. I hope a first-person perspective from the cockpit is also a gameplay feature. We see the inside of the cockpit in all the cutscenes, so you wouldn't think it'd be too hard to implement this into the game. I want to see exactly where I'm going. Now, Ubisoft is really pushing the fact that this game is open world, has multiple planets, but each of those planets is a different biome. For example, we see brief gameplay of what I'm pretty sure is Tatooine. I'm pretty sure this planet here is also Kef Bir from The Rise of Skywalker, one of the most forgettable planets in all of Star Wars history, one of the most forgettable films, the most forgettable. And then the main planet in the game is actually a moon called Tushara. This is where the cantina scene is, where we've seen most of the gameplay from the trailer, and it looks like this is the most expansive open world in the game. Kind of like Kobo, I guess, in Jedi Survivor, except it's open world and you have a speeder bike and can ride around GTA style. I wonder if you can steal other cars, man. Can you imagine if you can steal other speeder bikes? The other thing as well, asking about the open world, how open world is it? How sandboxy is this game going to be? Are you able to just shoot civilians in the street? Are you able to start bar fights in cantinas, start shooting all the NPCs? Is it RPG as well, where if you shoot an NPC, they'll stay dead forever? That's it, they're gone. I don't think it's going to have that level of creative freedom and real world implications, but it looks like you'll have a lot of freedom in the open world to kind of do as you please, especially considering this is a Ubisoft game, kind of like the Assassin's Creed games, or I'm referencing Far Cry as well. You can kind of do what you want with the NPCs, steal their cars. The game also has what looks to be quite a developed stealth system, including stealth takedowns and also the ability to use your little companion, Nix. He actually seems a lot more versatile than I initially thought he would be. You can use him as a distraction, he can attack other enemies, but he can also open doors and get you weapons that are upgrades. Nix's Fox's blaster also has multiple functions. You see here, there's the blaster module, which just shoots regular blasts, a focused one, which seems to be like an ion pulse, disabling this enemy's shield, and then also a stun mode. I think you'll be able to upgrade this as you play through the game and potentially even unlock other attachments, but it also seems like you can pick up enemies' dropped weapons and use them against them. They'll have a limited use, but deal a lot more damage than your own blaster. One thing I noticed, there's no mini-map that displays on screen unless they just have this turned off, but you do have a compass at the top of the screen with objectives you can travel to when exploring the open world. Also interesting that they filmed this in ultra wide. You guys notice that it has the black bars on top and bottom? I thought maybe they just did it to look cinematic, but maybe they like a wide monitor. Who knows? I also want to know what happens if you choose to not escape the Empire. If this is a truly open world sandbox style game, if you choose to stay and fight the Empire when you have a wanted level, will waves of them just keep coming? Are there levels of wanted levels? You can see here as the player has the wanted level, is tasked with escaping the Empire and is running to her ship, an Imperial shuttle is actually landing in town, which is likely going to deploy troops that come after you. And once the player travels up into space, as they still have a wanted level, there are TIE fighters in the surrounding area who you can actually take down, but also fly after you and will potentially, I'm assuming, keep coming. I wonder if you can hide. Hopefully you don't just have to jump to light speed to escape these guys. But I think you also develop a reputation with the Empire. Perhaps you can get on their most wanted list. Perhaps you'll have to hide from the Empire and not go to Imperial locations unless you have a good reputation with them. You can see here the player's also facing an ATST at one point. No idea how she survives this, so that's going to be interesting. There are actually some Imperial locations in the trailer. You can see it looks like she's hiding in an Imperial hangar here. Here she's running through a corridor that looks like it's on a Star Destroyer. So it looks like she's not going to be avoiding all Imperial entanglements. She's a smuggler after all. Han Solo's getting himself in trouble, so is she. Which, speaking of which, why is Han Solo in the game? Frozen in carbonite. I know you're going to have to do stuff with the Hutts. Probably going to be spending some time going after Jabba, especially if we're going to visit Tatooine. But interesting that they're actually showing such a prominent character like Han Solo in the trailer, even if he is frozen indefinitely in carbonite, having a good sleep in there. Now, I know a lot of people seem to be already complaining about the main character, saying she's boring, generic, seems like her plot line is to just evolve as a person, going from being this young girl into being a smuggler, finding herself, self-discovery, the most overused story in Hollywood in everywhere. And even if that's the case, I'm still excited to explore the open world, to see everything in the game. It looks like this has a lot to deliver, and it's going to be a Star Wars game like we've never had before, especially with the multitude of gameplay features they're promising, even the fact it's open world and seems rather seamless. I'm honestly surprised it's this far along in development as well. I thought they only started working on this a couple years ago. It seems to have come a long way. Now, fingers crossed, it doesn't get delayed or cancelled. You know, when this trailer started playing as well, the first thing I thought of was Star Wars 1313, seeing that gameplay trailer all the way back in 2012. Third-person perspective of a character, action-adventure style game, and my first thought was, please let this thing not get cancelled. That can't happen. I really don't think it will, but I am still skeptical until we get hands-on with this thing and see more gameplay. This is Ubisoft's first Star Wars game in a long time, I believe. They're saying it's the first open world Star Wars game, and even though Ubisoft are known for their open world games, this studio hasn't really done too much to prove itself just yet. Ubisoft's Massive Entertainment are also the ones who developed the Avatar game, which is launching later this year, along with the Division games, which were met with mixed reviews. But I don't know, man. This is looking pretty good. So this trailer also has a lot of details and Easter eggs, small secrets you might have missed. I'm thinking of making a video all about those, so if you want to see them, and if you noticed any, please let me know in the comments. And if you want to stay up to date with this game, come follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Discord, and TikTok, and subscribe. A lot more content coming, and thanks for watching this. My name's Andrew. I'll catch you soon.